All right, so now we move on to the day's program. As we all know, we are going to go right into the dance day. We start with the NatyaShastra, glimpses of NatyaShastra by Shekharji. We all have to turn towards that way because the project, did we decide to do, no, Shekharji says we can do it right from here. So it's going to be interactive, and that's the first one. And then we are going into 4 parallel sessions. We all know where we are. The Rhythm in Real Life is the very first room on the left as you enter. And Forms and Synergies is the very last room. And seniors stay here, and our special needs panel will also happen right here. And then we have the Aharyam workshop, immediately followed by, before lunch, will be the performance by the Forms and Synergies. And then we break for lunch, we change, and then we move into the second, the performance is part of the 3 panels and the Natyanjali segment. Is everybody clear on? Okay, let's get going. Thank you.
Namaste, welcome. NatyaShastra. How many of you have heard of NatyaShastra? Excellent. Even if you have not heard of it, you'll be surprised that you're practicing it. All of us. So you've heard the phrase that universe is theater, life is drama, and we're all playing different roles on the stage all the time. Have you? Where did you hear this from? Shakespeare. Exactly. Which play? As You Like It. Okay? So many centuries before Shakespeare, Bharat Muni stated this in NatyaShastra. The universe is theater, life is drama. We're all on the stage all the time playing different roles, different characters. So NatyaShastra is that discipline, the science, will you become conscious and aware of it. So we begin a deliberation. It's a very extensive and large text and the discipline, not just one particular book, but it's the entire discipline with hundreds of texts written on this, and it is a living tradition, and so such a great delight that Jayanti has organized this Natyanjali celebration, the 25th year celebration. Indeed, you are the ones who have kept it alive for thousands of years. And here to the youngsters, here is the challenge. You have to transmit whatever you have learned to the coming generations. Because it is only through this endless active lineage that it stays alive. Okay? And before we begin, we say with great reverence the first shloka of NatyaShastra, which is Pranamya Shirasa Devo Pitamah Maheshwaro NatyaShastram Pravakshami Brahmana Yadudahritam. So it pays obeisance, Bharat Muni says, Pitamah Maheshwara. Pitamah, who is the first, the father of fathers? Who is that? The Brahma, okay, the creator, and Maheshwara, Shiva, right here, okay. And this is how it has come about, culled from, where is it coming from? What is the original source? The source is the Vedas. So as a result, NatyaShastra is also another way of communicating the Vedic wisdom over thousands of years. So sometimes it is called the Panchama Veda, the 5th Veda. Because how many Vedas are recognized? Rigved, Yajurved, Samaved, and Atharvaved. This is considered the 5th Veda. Sometimes there is another book which is often called the 5th Veda. Which one is it? Mahabharata. Excellent. Why? Because Mahabharata has taken the essence of everything that is in the Vedic wisdom and turned it into stories within stories. And we remember it all because it is in stories and songs. Entire culture across all civilization is communicated through two things. What? Stories and songs. That is all we remember, because you can write 1,000-page treatise, but at the end of the day, if it doesn't hang in your memory, in your thought, it gets lost. So that's the whole idea. Even if you have something really important and extensive to say, compress it down to a couplet, 2 lines, or a story, something that we can all say, so that people find delight in it. Because people will only communicate something if it is interesting. So what is NatyaShastra about? Making our interactions, making our lives very engaging, interesting. Right? Why do you dance? So that you are able to engage with people in a very active manner. People become inspired. Okay? So, many of you are performers. What is the most essential requirement to have a performance? You're on the stage. What is one single element which is necessary, without whom the performance cannot happen? There is no performance.
Audience. The actor.
Huh?
Audience. The actor. Guru. Audience.
Audience. A performance is a dialogue between the performer and the audience. I can have a great speech, but if there is no one listening to me, what happens? Right? So the audience in Sanskrit is called Sahridaya. It's just not an audience, someone who's resonating with you. Someone who's listening and paying attention to you, the resonating audience. That is what we aim for all the time, don't we? But it's such a struggle to create listening. Do you find it hard in real life? Oh, you're nodding your head. What's your name? Just get up. Yeah. Yeah, just say. What's your name? Huh? Rushika? Okay. And you over there, you also said that? Please. What's your name? Sri Ranjini. Okay, very nice. You find it challenging to be heard? Me too. But for me, it started very early. You know, I was the youngest sibling and I had 3 older sisters. Imagine. Okay? I was always trying to create listening, and all these 3 girls going all the time. So I was just trying to find how to say something profound. How many of you have experienced that? Within the family, outside, forget it actually. Nobody's interested in listening to you. Okay? So what I figured out in the process of listening to 3 amazing sisters all the time is that I have nothing important to say in life. Okay? So even now I'm intimidated when I see these girls. Okay? Because I know that there is, what can I say right now? Really, I have to really invent something really phenomenal. And my mother was my agent, and she was trying to say, please allow him to say something. And listening. How do you create listening? Challenge. How do you create listening? Any takers? How do you create listening? Sri Ranjini, tell me actually, just how do you create listening?
Focus, and you should like it.
Who should like it?
The person who's listening should like it.
No, but as someone who's standing in terror on the stage, okay, sweating, what should I do so that you listen?
Make it interesting.
Make it?
Interesting.
Interesting. Thank you, Ninaji. Make it very interesting. So the entire goal in the world is to make things interesting. Okay? And how do you make it interesting? There are many different devices given in NatyaShastra of how do you do that. And you practice in many ways. Tara ji came, just Tara Anand. And she's a master of what? Voice, sound through instruments, creating, sounding. She can speak one single phrase and she can create listening there. We spend many hours. How many of you spend hours and hours on PowerPoint creating hundreds of slides, and at the end of the day, no one is listening, right? So you have to, is it true? So what do you have to do to create listening? Sometimes, and then you find the same person is, the musician is saying something very simple 20 times actually, and people are paying attention. He said, well, I had such an important thesis, which would fit 20 pages, but no one is listening. So you have to use your voice, your presence, your body language, all these things together. What are they called in dance? There are different ways of doing. What are they called? In NatyaShastra or Natya, the whole business of Natya, there is a 4-part abhinay that you do. What do? You use your voice. You modulate your voice, the tonality of voice. You create a story which is engaging. You use your body language, angikam. Vachikam is the, and you also, before I go on the come up, or you, any one of you, because you're all actors of different kinds, when you go on the stage, you have to feel something inside yourself. Otherwise, why would anybody listen to you? You have to feel the emotions. Right, sir? You have to feel what your constituency wants. You have to know your problems. What is happening in their hearts? You have to feel it yourself. The joy, the pain, all of it, you have to listen to it. Right? Sometimes nobody's saying anything. Even in that silence, you have to sense what is happening. Often people will not say what they want, but you still have to sense. And you have to create what? An interaction, a dialogue, a samvad, as it's said in Sanskrit. You have to create an engaging dialogue. Right? So, in order to create listening, you have to, what do you have to do? No one is speaking up, but you have to observe. You have to pay attention. You have to listen very carefully, attentively. When I say the word attentively, what are you using? What is that faculty called? Attention? In a way, it is all a game of attention. True? We seek attention, we give attention. True? So what we have to manage, this whole business of music and art, communication, speaking, or be able to connect, communication. Any of this is all about managing attention. Do you agree? And as a performer, you know that the moment you go on stage, people have very short attention span. It is a big challenge. It used to be 20 minutes. Now it is down. Then it came down to 20 seconds. But now people move away from a web page in what, 2 seconds? True? So you have to gather and capture attention very, very rapidly. I would like my colleague. How many of you want me to see dance? Okay, no, please. Okay, spare me that actually, because it will be a little embarrassing. Okay, so from Pallavi, please come here. Or for that matter, when you enter the stage, you have to first establish that it is a special place. You just don't walk in like this. Just stroll into on the stage. Do you want just somebody to, it has to be, it's a special place, it's a sacred space, so you have to establish. So how do you enter the stage according to the NatyaShastra? Okay. What did she do? It felt like that she took a leap onto the stage. How many of you do that, dancers, right? You don't just stroll onto the stage. You take a leap as if you are leaving behind something and climbing onto another space. Yes? So it's almost like a threshold that you're crossing. Okay? You're walking across a door, a threshold. And this threshold or a dwar is called Yama Dwar. What is Yama Dwar? What is Yama? The Lord of Death. So what is the connection here? You're walking over the door of death. What is the connection here? Just walking, entering the stage and door of death. What is the connection? Tell me. Be courageous, huh?
Coming into life.
Coming into life from?
Become immortal.
You guys are too profound, okay? It's simply a room or a stage that you're entering, okay? So you're on fast forward, please hold on. We'll have an opportunity, okay? Let's deal with this life first, okay? So what is the, what is it that you're walking over? You are taking a leap. Go ahead.
Ascending to the stage.
You're ascending to the stage from where?
Can I answer?
No. No cheating allowed, okay? Okay. So you are, I need you folks to act. You're all practitioner dance students, so you have to say something. Manasa, just tell me something. You're a dance teacher. Just get up, actually. What are you walking over? Actually, and the clue is already in what I said, door of death. You're crossing the door of death. Yamadwar. What is the similarity between entering the stage and crossing the door of death? Yamadwar. It's simpler than that. Okay, Anu.
It's scary, you don't know what you're going to face.
Very interesting. No, actually, it's very interesting. Please record that. Because you're entering a space that you have no idea, no clue about. You're as if you are walking into emptiness, into nothingness. Thank you, Anu. Very insightful. I'm really true. I'm surprised that it came from you, Very profound. Anu, by the way, is a very a well-known popular columnist, but she writes on other topics, so I'm really impressed. Thank you. Okay, but what is it? You're walking to nothingness from what? What are you leaving behind? That is the secret, huh? Okay, no, please stand up and actually just you. Yeah, what are you walking away from? What are you taking a leap out of?
Fear. Feeling fear.
Oh, make it more simple.
Ignorance.
Huh? Oh, you guys are very profound actually. Just say something really just more. Hey, oh God, this the Guru. Guru is always actually just, none of you answered, so Guru Taraji had to answer. What you're walking away is your mundane, normal life. You leave it behind. Because Pallavi, who wants to see Pallavi on the stage? They came to the Sita Kalyanam, okay? They want to see Sita, not Pallavi, okay? And nobody wants to see Sri Ranjini on the stage, they want to see Draupadi, true or not? So what you do is you leave Sri Ranjini at home, okay? Put Sri Ranjini or Manasa on pause, okay? So before you come on stage, true Ninaji, true or not? Because you have to put pause on Ninaji, okay? And then you come on stage, and then you become Radha. True? Thank you, Taraji. Because no one wants to actually just see the actor. They want to see the character. True? That's the difference. But how do you become the character? The character in Sanskrit, what it means is just that once you walk over that threshold, what have you done? You have left your mundane life, put it on pause, and you have come on the stage and become what? You don't know. You have to have that openness to become nothing, an empty vessel. Really be clear of what you are doing, because you're all coming, just worried about the train that you came in, or the commute, or the weather, or some chatter going on. Do you want to bring that chatter on the stage? Leave it behind. That is one secret. Okay, there is going to be a quiz at the end. Okay, leave it behind, the mundane. Come here, become an empty vessel, a patra. So what do you do when you have nothingness in your hand, an empty vessel? What do you fill it with? What can you fill it with if it is totally empty? There is nothing there.
Whatever you want.
Exactly. What's your name? Huh? Shiva? Oh, excellent. Just stand up. Let's give him a round of applause. That's a big secret Shiva has actually, of course, Shiva had to actually just enter the room and answer that. Actually, that's also cheating, actually, All right, don't cheat anymore. Okay. So, the secret of life is when you enter the stage and you become nothing, empty, what can you become? Anything. So whenever you enter any conversation or a meeting or anything, if you come with a lot of preconceived ideas and your strategies, something else happens and then you're clueless. True? Do you all agree? In real life also? You always think that, this person is going to say this, I'm going to do this, and drop it. As D.T. Suzuki used to say, Zen mind, beginner's mind, as if you are nothing, empty vessel, patra. So that is what it is in life. You don't know what you're going to encounter, so you have to be ready for the moment. Whatever happens, you're going to actually just enter that role. Because you don't know what the person who is pulling, what is it called, the strings in life, is going to present you with a new context. You think that you're entering a garden, but it may not be a garden. It may be a fire that you're entering. Okay? Be open to what may be coming to you. And in all traditions, what do the performers do? What am I doing? What? Bowing down. What are you bowing down to? Huh? What? Audience, thank you, Jaya, but what are you bowing down to, really? What are you bowing down to? What is this action? Bow down. Very crucial, huh? Almighty. Yeah, you guys are very intelligent, actually. Just, I wanted something really basic. You already answered, actually, just now. Huh? Say that? Surrender. These are all related. So what you are bowing down, when you say this action, what is it called? Namaste. The prefix is nama. Okay? So you are doing namana. In Sanskrit, it is you are naman. Naman is bowing down. Namaha, namaste, namahate. Okay? So you are bowing down to someone. So, or you are bowing down to what? What is, as a result of bowing down, something is bowing out. And what is bowing out? You already actually, just like Tara said, you are letting go of the mundane. Okay? So the mundane is bowing out and creating something else, becoming something else. That's what the connection is, naman. This is also called nata, like natamastak, right? In Sanskrit or other language, natana. It is all called natana. The person who has mastered the act of coming onto the stage and becoming empty so that he can become anything, or she can become anything or anyone, is called, from Nata comes Natta. You know the word Natta? The Natta, because you know who is the master of this activity of Natta? Nataraj, the king of acting, king of dance, king of music. Anyone who knows how to bow out and become empty and can do anything, can take on any swaras, can do any angikam, can take on any emotion, is infinitely empty, completely empty, and can take on anything, any form, any morphology, is called Nataraj, and the person who is an actor is called Nata. And from there comes the word Natya. So what is Natya? Is the science, the discipline of becoming completely empty and have the flexibility to create any morphology in sound, in space, in body, in ideas, in stories. Otherwise, how are people going to listen? And what kind of story should it be? It has to be something very engaging. You can't say, oh, just this morning I got up and I just got up. No one wants to hear it. You have to have something when you come on stage. It has to be something fantastic. It has to be amazing. Oh, Krishna. Well, the Krishna comes in. And Yashoda and Krishna and she gives him a beating and opens his mouth. And when he opens his mouth, what are you supposed to see? Butter? What do you want to see in the mouth? The universe, my God. You guys know the stories really well, you know. But you have practiced it because you don't want anything ordinary thing. You don't want butter or an apple in the mouth of Krishna. You want to see something phenomenal like the entire cosmos. That's what a story is. And that's why I remember it. Over how many years? Thousands of years. So that is the whole idea, that when you tell a story, you don't tell an ordinary story. You tell something phenomenal which is outside the bounds of time, outside the bounds of space. So often people create stories, we all do, which are relevant, politically correct, politically relevant or socially relevant from time to time. However, those things have limited shelf life. You perform once, twice, thrice, it ages really fast. However, the story of Draupadi and the Krishna story or those things stay forever. The Ganga descending on Shiva's head will ever become old, irrelevant. Why? These are all cosmic stories, symbolic storytelling. Why should it be symbolic? These are all fantastic things. Ganga coming on the head of Shiva. The whole cosmos in Krishna's mouth. Why symbolic? Why can't you tell something relevant for times? Any ideas? I've already given you the cue, this thing, so it's a quiz, really. What is your name? Okay, please stand up. Actually, just say that. Why? Yeah, you're right. Actually, yeah. What's your name? Anagha. Please stand up. Actually, it's okay. You know, this is everything has to be a dialogue. Or has to be a samvad. Okay, Anagha. Why not just an ordinary story of real life versus a symbolic story which appears so fantastic?
Cosmic stories easier for anyone to find.
Exactly. It has to appeal to not just one constituency or a state or a geography or a time. It's not limited in chronology, it is not limited in space. It has to be relevant for everyone, everywhere, all the time. Do you agree? And that's when a story becomes powerful, and then you can actually just go in there because it has symbolism. For what? What is the purpose? What kind of symbolism is there in these stories that you perform and sing?
The power of God.
Yeah, it has power unlimited. Any other answers? What does a symbolic story bring to you?
Bring the models,
Huh?
bring the models and how to life.
Exactly. That also. By the way, in NatyaShastra there are generally two categories of stories. One is Lokadharmi and Natyadharmi. Lokadharmi is when you want to expose people to some moral values, ideas, ethical lifestyle, etc., etc. In Natyadharmi, you want to take people onto a flight away from the mundane life into a transcendental space, a special space. Okay? And so what we are talking symbolic storytelling also, of course, it can exist between, it has relevance today, it will have relevance tomorrow as well. But there is something really special about creating these timeless, ageless stories. But when you're telling this story, you also use your body, as I mentioned, and you use your voice. When you're using your voice, for that matter, you have to be cautious that you don't rub the same idea too often. You give breaks because there is a sthai and there is sanchari, let's say. So you give a break because what is it called in English? Actually, the sthai. I'm just running out of words. Actually, just there. Refrain. Okay, sorry. The refrain, and then you give it. There is a musical interlude. Why is there a musical interlude? Because you want to give people an opportunity to extend the story in their minds also. Because it is not what you are pushing out. People have to own the story and fill that space themselves. You have to create imagination. That's what the symbolic story does also. Because if you are offering sweets, let's say the limited space is going to become a garden. There are flowers. Do you actually put a flowering tree? No. Why not? You could put a flowering tree and then pluck flowers. Why? What would happen if you had a tree that you're literally picking flowers? What will you take away? I want to hear something from this side.
You restrict your vision to something specific. So rather you want to be expansive.
I want to hear from some of these dance students. What will you take away if there is a flowering tree versus you just pretending? Huh? Please. No. What is your name? No. Here. You. Yeah. You. Yes. What's your name? Huh? Charvi. Stand up. Actually, just please. And so tell me. Actually, what do you take up? If you had literally a flowering tree versus you just pretending like you do this, right? All the time. Why? There's nothing there. Nothing to pluck. What are you plucking? In thin air. What does it do? Huh? Please, let's invent something. It's okay. Let's just say something. It's okay. Huh? Oh, thank you so much. Thank you very much, Charvi. imagination. That's what, because right now you stood there, Charlie, and then you have to imagine an answer, right? That's what a performer does. That we make the audience imagine, create in the moment. Okay? They have to extend. You give just one line, they will invent the second line of the story. Okay? That's what in the classical Indian arts, that's what it is. That you create the story to an extent that the audience starts owning the story. Then they think that it is their story. You have to become invisible. You have to vanish. In all art, everywhere it is stated that the highest form art comes when the artist vanishes, only the art remains. True or not? So the artist has to vanish, the art remains. So you have created Krishna and the cosmos there, but the artist doesn't exist. The dancer, the musician is not there. Because the audience is having a dialogue with Krishna and the cosmic vision there. Do you see that? The audience has owned Krishna and Radha, or they are enamored by the Nataraj or the Shiva, the Ganga descending on his head. Right? You have to vanish there. So remember that. That's very essential. Through a symbolic this thing, there is also a possibility of vanishing. And when you vanish, and the audience has taken over the whole story, what happens? A special kind of experience is taking place between the audience, the listener, and what is happening on the stage. What is happening? There is a transcendental, really a special, magical experience. We all go to drama, theater, movies, because we want to be hit, struck with some kind of magic. True or not? If there was no magic, why would you go to a movie? You want some magic to happen. So as performers, okay, as dancers, musicians, or anyone in real life, your task is to create magic in every single interaction, because you want people to remember you, your interaction. Okay? And that's... So in NatyaShastra, if there was only one single thing that you want to remember, is that every interaction has to have a magical experience, and that magical experience is called in Sanskrit? What? Rasa. Rasa. That, a drop of bliss, just like when you have just eaten a laddu, it is sweet. Can you truly define it? Something that comes through your heart and you say, What was that taste? Sweet? Beyond taste? It's your speech. And that experience of it, rasanubhuti, the experience of rasa. And that is the goal. And there is a saying in shloka in NatyaShastra. It says, Nahi rasadrite kaschidartha pravartate. Unless the experience of rasa has happened, that magical experience, your work is not done. So the purpose of life, in fact, Bharata raises the benchmark by saying that in every interaction one should aim for creating a magical experience, every dialogue. And that is what, why do you gain a friend? Because there was once, at least once, there was a magical interaction that took place. Yes? If there was no magic that took place, forget it actually. You meet hundreds of people all the time. But there has to be that, there is something really special that should happen. So you have to aim, not just talk about actually your commute and your all that stuff, the garrulous chit chat and gossip that you do. Be deliberate about. What's your name? You. Yeah, please get up. And what's your name?
Vijaya.
Vijaya. So give me an example of a magical experience in general life that you may have experienced. Just very brief. Ah, fantastic, Vijaya, actually. Can you describe that joy ever? Can you really describe that, the delight of actually just having your newborn baby, seeing that? Speechless, it's beyond words. And that is what we are indicating, the benchmark of creating. So as a performer, someone who is training for years, the expectation is higher also. People buy tickets, they come to your show, you have to generate rasa. So, what are you going to generate? Just say that. Rasa. Okay? That's what you are in this thing. And there are, especially, of course, there are many different types of powers, and there are, you guys may have studied. However, when at the end of, when you are, at the end of your performance, you want people to go away with a couple of things, possibly. One is, what? Just show that experience, the face. Just like Adbhuta. And what do you say? Generally, when you say something phenomenal, what do you say in English? What is the word? Awesome. You just, sometimes the guy did actually, Tom Brady does a touchdown, just like in Super Bowl, a couple of years. It's like, right? Awesome. It's just speechless. Or there is something beauty, shringar, just a romance. You want your audience to fall in love with you, or not? Or you want your audience to run away from you? They have to feel like that, they have finally met the beloved. Okay? So that's why the fans get so carried away, they start writing fan mails to these actors and actresses and so on. They think that the actor is actually madly in love with that fan. Okay? So it is that kind of magic that you have to create, that people feel a special romantic bond with you. Okay? So that is really the benchmark of this thing. And then, of course, just in order to really show romance, of course you have to feel romance in your heart. You can't be feeling some jealousy or some boredom on the stage. You have to feel romance as well, right? But if I have to feel too much of romance and get lost, actually, let's say the Shakuntala feels too much, gets too engaged in her love for Dushyant, and then she is herself actually lost in that romance. What happens to the audience? The audience is wondering what happened here, Okay? Or you got too full awestruck on the stage. What happens? You forget your dance movements. You forget what you have to sing. So, as a performer, you're allowed to engage very deeply, immerse in those amazing experience, but not get carried away. The hurricane of emotions that come, even in real life, that you experience, you feel deep connection with someone and that you are actually blown away in love and romance. Believe me, it is hazardous to your life. Watch it. Okay? It feels tremendously amazing, like it is a one-time thing, but it's a regular occurrence. And the hurricanes, those hurricanes of passion and romance are very common, okay? And often very dangerous, okay? So watch carefully. So that's why, as I said, that you step into love, not get swept away in the hurricane of romance. All right? And that's the lesson of NatyaShastra also, is that you are to be afraid, but don't get carried away. It's normal and human to be angry, but don't get carried away in anger, okay? All these emotions can be experienced. In fact, the entire spectrum of experience of disgust and love and romance and anger, fear, all those things are normal. NatyaShastra allows you to, the whole discipline allows you to experience it in this laboratory of Natya, on the stage. Because sometimes, if you are an elementary school teacher, you have to use anger to control the kids, true? And sometimes people are not getting off your case, so you have to use other mechanisms, emotions. So you enact it out, don't get carried away. Emotions are dangerous in general. However, they have a purpose, because once you can experience the entire spectrum of human emotions, and there are 8 emotions, sometimes the Navarasa also, in 9 later on develop. You should have the ability to experience the entire spectrum of emotions, but yet not get carried away. That's how much control that you have. Just like when you're singing, you go to the tar saptak, the higher octave, but not lose your voice. You can bring it back and control it. So that is the whole idea, is that you are always on the stage. And as I said in the beginning, the whole purpose why we are on the stage, do any music or dance or any speech or anything, is so that people will pay attention to us. So finally, what if there is no one out there? There is no physical audience out there. Is there a performance possible then? Please. Please. What is your name?
Mamta.
Mamta. What is possible then?
Yeah, it is possible.
Okay. What kind of who are you interacting with then? What is?
You are interacting with yourself.
Oh my God! This is really too brilliant actually. Just even when no one is watching. Thanks, Mamta. Even when no one is watching, someone is always watching. Do you get that sense? How many of you get that sense that even when there is no one there, someone is watching? How many of you are want to see? Sometimes very eerie also. Right? You watch, something is watching yourself all the time. So in this particular tradition, it's said that all the time there is someone is watching. Make friends with that witness. The Sakshi in Sanskrit is said, that witness, which is the higher self, which is all the time watching, looking at you carefully. So you build a relationship with it. In fact, in temples, let's say upstairs, there is a whole process of you develop a relationship with that self and pour all your attention on yourself. So there is a mutual bathing of attention. And when you have too much, let's say between two people, if I pay attention on someone or two people, you feel like, you feel a romance. True or not? What is romance? Romance is, after all, when someone pays a lot of attention to you and you feel the warmth in your inside. True? It's also a game of attention. You withdraw it, suddenly the love dies. That's why I say that romance is ephemeral. It's not, it vanishes. So you have to work at it actually, just developing that level and the quality of attention. So when you are pouring the attention yourself, there is an abhishekam that takes place in the temple. You pour all the nice things, the milk and honey and all those things. You know what it is? The secret. You can go and share it with people. It's about bathing yourself in your own attention. By watching that drama, that's also sacred theater taking place in the temple. By doing that, it reminds you that the real purpose of that activity is to remind you that you can bathe yourself in the loving attention of your own higher self. And with that, I'll conclude and say, so you have an opportunity to bathe yourself in that attention, and through that, the secret, the enigmatic secret of life is revealed. So that is the entry point, insight into life. And there are many, many things contained in NatyaShastra, and feel free to explore, study, and practice it, so that you realize that the stage is everywhere, universe is theater. There is an opportunity to reveal, crack the secret of life by paying attention to everything all the time, wherever you are. Thank you.